game. Have you heard of the Dark Ages, Betch?
I have, John. 'Twas the time before video games even existed.
Yep, and then in the 1930s there was light and balls and flippers and poppers and
Pinball. It's the ancestor of arcade games, and thanks to some serious collectors, they're still racking up the points today.
Ray went to the 2009 Pinball Expo to find out more.
How much money do you spend on a week playing in these places?
$7.
$3.
How old are you?
10. But my mum's waiting outside, so it's alright. $5. That was to go to pictures too.
Growing up, I never really got into pinball because my parents were convinced that arcades were for gangsters and juvenile delinquents. But pinball machines paved the way for video gaming in arcades. So what is it about the bells and whistles of the humble pinball?
I can remember playing a game when I was about 6 in my local milk bar just before I went to school, and I spent all of my lunch money on the pinball machine, so I had nothing to eat when I went to school.
Went overseas on holidays in Italy and sitting there, couldn't speak the language, but there was a pinball machine, I could do that all day.
Pinball machine in the fish and chip shop, playing with my dad.
Picture this. Christchurch, New Zealand, 1980. Hamburger joint, and the first Space Invaders came in and invaded my hamburger joint. What did I do? Was it Space Invaders? Was it pinball? I stuck with pinball, actually. I looked at the Space Invaders from behind, but I stuck with pinball.
I was a die-hard pinball player of the 70s, and when video machines came out, I was one that did play video. And Space Invaders was a favourite, so was Galaga, Pac-Man, Defender, just to name a few. But I think when you play a pinball machine, you can actually see the flipper, you can actually see the bumper, and you're in full control of the ball. So it's up to you to keep that ball in play, it's up to you to go for the skill shots.
What tips do you have for someone who's completely new to pinball?
The best bet is to study the game, know how the features work, just like a video game, actually. You have to study how the game works, the features, and what targets you've got to hit, and what ramps you've got to go up, and how many times, and to do what to get an extra ball, and how to get a replay.
Pinball machines have been around forever. What do you think is the secret to their success?
Well, they say the ball is wild, so every time you play a game, it's a different game. So the challenge is reset again and again.
Trying to beat the machine, trying to get the ball to where you want it to go and, you know, rack up the points.
I like the designs, the noise, the lights, mostly the designs, yeah, the artwork on the backlights.
What do you think is the future of pinball?
That, doing it yourself, your own game.
So Christian, you've made this entire pinball machine yourself from scratch. How did you go about doing it?
Well, you just start somewhere and you keep going. The artwork you see on the playfield was hand-drawn, hand-painted, and we had another friend who did the cabinet artwork for us. The software's all mine, the electronics is mine, the rest of it's mine. Ultimately, I want to have, you know, software and a board that people can do this themselves.
Well, I think there'll always be nostalgia for pinball machines, especially for people like me. Hopefully I'll get my children into it too.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a lonely thing that you do by yourself on a TV. Like, you can have a group of people and you can sort of play it together.
The machines are getting older. Obviously, there aren't the manufacturers around like there used to be. So it's sort of becoming more of a collector's thing now.
Well, I can't see a pinball machine replacing my consoles anytime soon. I can certainly respect the attraction that they hold. Now, if you excuse me. What do you mean tilt?